So I welcome you all to this mathematics class. I'm Miss Vandana Gupta, Assistant Professor of Mathematics. We have completed one unit of statistics, that is measures of central tendency. Today I'm going to start with the section 1, mathematics. In that, the first unit, that is shares and mutual funds. In this, there are two subtopics or subunits. First one is shares and the other one is mutual funds. So today we are going to start with shares. Being the commerce students, you all may be aware of the word shares. You might have used this word many a times in accounts, right? So I will quickly give you an introduction of shares and then we will start solving the problems. Now, what is the meaning of shares? I will explain you with the help of one example. Suppose there is a person named Rakesh and he wants to start with a business. Okay. As you know that to start any business, you need a huge amount of money, which is called as a capital. So a huge amount of capital is required. So what are the options with this Rakesh? Either he will contact to some of his friends or relatives and would convince them to come and join his business and or become a partner in his business by investing some amount. Okay, some of them they may come together. Some like-minded people, they will come together with Rakesh and they will start the business. They will bring their money, but then suddenly they feel that the amount which they have brought is not sufficient for them to start the business. Then what they will do? They will go to the bank. Okay, so and they will ask bank for the loan. Now bank also has some limitation. Whatever loan they have asked, bank may not sanction all the amount. Okay, so what remains then next? Then this person will uh, contact SEBI. You know what is SEBI? So this person will contact SEBI, that is Securities and Exchange Board of India, and they will complete some formalities as per the rules of the SEBI, and they will ask the people to invest in their business by purchasing the shares of their companies. Okay, so SEBI will ask them to fill some forms or maybe some formalities. Okay, so suppose these people, Rakesh and the associates, whatever associates, these people wanted to start with the company. So they are called the promoters of the company. What are they called? Promoters. So suppose they need 1 crore of rupees. Okay, after they have gathered the money from their own pocket. Suppose now they require 1 crore of rupees. Okay. Suppose they need 1 crore of rupees. So what they will do, this much amount they will gather from the people. Okay. So this huge amount of money which they require, they will divide it into small unit. This is the entire amount and they will divide it into small unit. So this smallest unit is called as a share. Okay. So suppose they say that this the smallest unit, this is called as a share. So suppose they say that their one share is costing rupees 100. Okay. So that is called the face value of the share. Face value is suppose 100. Face value means what? It is the value assigned to the share. It's the smallest unit. Okay. So 1 crore they want and the smallest unit is 100. Okay. So how much amount? I mean, they will need now, or how many shares they will launch in the market? 10 lakhs. Okay. So share is defined as the smallest unit of the capital of the company. Okay. I hope you have understood. So the entire capital of the which is required to start a business, it is divided into small units, and the smallest unit is called as a share. So see how I have defined. Share is the smallest unit of the total share capital of the company. So the total share capital is say 1 crore. The smallest unit is 100. Okay. So that is called as a share. Now what is the face value? A value which is assigned to a share as its worth is called a face value. So in the example which I had given you, the value of the share is 100 rupees. It may be 10 also. It depends upon the promoters of the company, what value they are assigning. Okay. So face value is the value assigned to the share. Face value is also called as par value or nominal value. Some books are using the word par value or nominal value. And face value is usually rupees 10 or rupees 100. Now suppose I buy the company's share. So I become a shareholder. Okay, so how we define the word shareholder? A person who owns the shares of a company or who purchased the shares of a company is called a shareholder. Okay, now when I become the shareholder or when I purchase the shares of a company, I will get a certificate from the company in which all the details will be there. Okay, what type of details? The share number of shares issued to me, what is the share number, what is the certificate number. So such kind of certificate with all these details is called a share certificate. So what is a share certificate? A certificate that is issued to shareholders with details like number of shares issued, share numbers, certificate number, etc. is called as share certificate. So for example, if I go back to the same example, suppose I face value is 100 and suppose I have purchased 10 shares of this company. Okay, that means how much amount I have invested in this company. One share is costing, not costing, one share ka value is 100 rupees. And I have purchased 10 shares. So 100 into 10, that is 1000. So that means I have invested rupees 1000 in that company. That is the meaning. Okay. Now, just like that, people will not invest the money unless they are getting some benefit, right? So when you purchase the shares of a company, you become the partner of that company. So company has to give you some part of the profit which they gain at the end of the financial year. Okay, because you have become the partner. Okay, so the part of the profit which the shareholders are getting, that is called as a dividend. So what is dividend? At the end of every financial year, a part of the net profit of the company is divided amongst the shareholders, and that is called as a dividend. Okay. Now, the dividend varies from year to year depending on the company's performance. If company is doing very good, is earning huge amount of profit, then they will give more dividend to the shareholders. If company is going in loss, then they may reduce the dividend. So the dividend may not be same every year. Okay. Dividend is always calculated as a percentage of face value, and which is called as the rate of dividend. Okay. So for example, if I say 8% rate of dividend, what is the meaning of that? If the face value of a share is 100, then dividend received per share is rupees 8. That is the meaning of 8% rate of dividend. Percent means 100. So if the face value is 100, then how much dividend is received? 8 rupees. Okay. Now nowadays, the shares certificate is not issued in the what do you say, a physical form. There will not be any paperwork nowadays. So if you want to purchase shares of a company, you will have to open a demat account in the bank. Okay. And your share certificate will also, you will receive in the demat form, electronic form. Okay. Online. Okay. So everything has become now paperless. Before they used to give share certificate. Now everything is electronically handled. So to invest in shares, you have to open a demat account. Now see, suppose the rate of dividend is 8%. What is the meaning of that? Rate of dividend 8% meaning rate of dividend is 8%. That means if face value is means what? If face value is 100, then dividend received is 8 rupees. That is the meaning. Okay, then dividend is rupees 8. Okay, on one share. Okay, so number of so dividend on one share is what? It is 8% of what? Of face value. Dividend is always calculated on the face value. So it is 8% of face value. 8% is what? 8 upon 100. And what is the face value? It is 100. So that is how we are getting 8 rupees. So dividend received on one share is rupees 8. Suppose I have got 200 shares of the company. Suppose I have number of shares is 200. That means what is my total dividend? Total dividend. See, on one share, I'm getting 8 rupees dividend. So on 200 shares, how much dividend I will get? 8 into 200. On one share, I'm getting 8 rupees. So on 200 shares, I will get 1600. So my total dividend will be 1600. So how you calculate the total dividend? It is the dividend on one share, that is 8 here in this problem, multiplied by number of shares. And how do you calculate dividend on one share? It is the rate of dividend, that is 8% of face value. So 8 upon 100 into face value. So that is how we get this formula. Total dividend is equal to rate of dividend into face value divided by 100, because rate is always expressed as a percentage, into number of shares. So that will give you the total dividend. Okay. Now see, there is one more term. Before we go to that, let me list down types of shares. So there are following types of shares. The first one is called equity shares. It is also called as ordinary shares. What is the meaning of that? See, in equity share holders, they will get the dividend as a percentage of company's profit on certain conditions. Okay, so the rate of dividend here is flexible. If the company is earning more profit, company will give more dividend to the equity shareholders. If company is going in loss or having less profit, company may reduce the dividend. So the dividend here is flexible. Okay, it changes according to company's financial status. Second one is preferential shares. What is preference shares? Preference shares holders will get dividend as a fixed rate, and it is constant throughout. Even though company is going in less profit or in loss, company has to give a fixed amount of dividend to the preference shareholders. Okay, so that is the difference between ordinary shareholder or equity shares and preferential shares. Third one is the bonus shares. What is the bonus shares? These are the shares issued to the existing equity shareholders in proportion to the number of shares in possession of the shareholders. That means bonus shares are issued to people who are already having the shares of that company. If company is having a huge profit, then what company will do? To the existing shareholders, it will give the bonus share free of cost in some proportion to the number of shares a person is having. So for example, suppose the company gives 4 shares to every 10 shares a person holds. That means in the ratio 4:10. If a person is having 10 shares already, then company has given 4 bonus shares. Okay, so suppose a person is having 100 shares of the company. On every 10 he is getting 4 bonus shares. So on 100, how many he will get? 40 shares he will get. That means for every 10 shares he is getting 4 bonus shares. So for if he is having 100 shares, he will get 40 shares. I'm sorry. And these are free of cost. So now his total shares will become 100 plus 40, that is 140. Okay, so these are the 3 types of shares which we have seen here. Now see here, buying and selling of the shares, which is also called as trading, is done at a place. It's not done normally as you go to buy grocery or clothes. Okay, so it is done at a particular place which is called as a share market or stock exchange. Nowadays, the trading of shares is done, as I told you, by using the demat account through the banks. And the shares are not held in physical form, as I already explained you, but in the form of electronic accounts. Now, there is something called market value. Say, face value may be anything, but when you buy the shares, at what rate it is available in the market, that is called the market value. So what is market value or it is also called the market price? Market value or market price of a share is the price at which it is purchased or sold in the market. So market value may not be same as face value. Face value is initially when it was launched first time, the value assigned to the share. That is the face value. It is usually 100 or 10. Okay. Market value may not be same as face value in practice. If market value is equal to face value, then the share is said to be at par. Par means face value. So both are same. So we say that share is at par. If market value is more than face value, then the share is said to be above par. Par value means face value. So it is above par. Or it is also called as the share is at premium. मतलब शेयर का बहुत डिमांड हो गया है, फेस वैल्यू से भी ज्यादा हो गया उसका वैल्यू, I mean market value. So we call it as it is above par or at premium. And if the market value is less than face value, then the share is said to be below par or at discount. Okay. So all these theory things you must study. It may come as a objective, multiple choice question. Okay. So we have seen there are two things assigned to a share. One is face value, the other one is market value. Face value is the value assigned to the share certificate, okay, or the share value to the share, and market value is the value at which it is available in the market, which may not be equal to the face value. Now, when you buy or sell the shares, it is done through a brokerage firm. Like you might have heard about the firm called Sher Khan. शेर खान आपने सुना होगा, है ना? So there are many such like this. So buying and selling is done through a brokerage firm, which is charging a commission when you buy or sell the shares, and that commission is called as a brokerage. Note that the brokerage is always calculated as a percentage of market value. जितना मार्केट वैल्यू है उसके परसेंटेज के ऊपर ब्रोकरेज चार्ज किया जाता है, ठीक है? तो if I ask you what is the purchase price of a share, suppose you have gone to purchase the share, what you have to what amount you will have to pay to purchase the share? First, what is the market price? On the top of that you also will have to pay the brokerage. तो आपके लिए वो शेयर कितने में पड़ेगा? सपोज मार्केट प्राइस इज 150, तो आपको वो 150 में नहीं पड़ेगा, आपको उसके ऊपर से ब्रोकरेज भी देना पड़ेगा, ठीक है? तो आपके लिए परचेस प्राइस क्या हो जाएगा? मार्केट प्राइस और मार्केट वैल्यू प्लस ब्रोकरेज, ओके? एंड व्हाट विल बी द सेलिंग प्राइस? सपोज आप सेल करने गए आपका शेयर, ओके, और आज की तारीख में शेयर का सपोज रेट है 200, आप शेयर आप सोल्ड करेंगे तो आपको 200 रुपए पूरा नहीं मिलेगा. क्यों? बिकॉज यू हैव टू पे द ब्रोकरेज ऑल्सो, ठीक है? तो 200 पे सपोज 1% ब्रोकरेज है, तो 1% कितना हो गया? 1% ऑफ 200, दैट इज 1% ऑफ 200 इज 2, करेक्ट? सो 200 में आपको -2 करना पड़ेगा. दैट मीन्स यू विल गेट ओनली 198 rupees. You will not get full 200 rupees. Okay. So what is the selling price of the share? It is the market price or market value minus brokerage. You understood now? Suppose the market price is 200 for a share and I have one share and I want to sell it. So I must get 200 rupees if I'm selling, but I will not get 200 because I have to pay brokerage also. तो मेरे हाथ में कितना आएगा? 200 में से माइनस करूंगी मैं ब्रोकरेज. सपोज माय ब्रोकरेज रेट इज 1%. सो as I told you, brokerage is always calculated as a percentage of market value. So 1% brokerage है, मतलब 1% of what? Of market price. Market price is 200. So 1% of 200 will be 2. So I will not get exact 200 rupees. This brokerage amount also it will be deducted. It will go to the broker or that brokerage firm. So 200 minus 2, that is 190. So in my hand only I will get 198. Okay. So selling price of a share is market value minus brokerage. So remember these two things. While purchasing, brokerage is added to the market price. While selling, brokerage is subtracted from the market price. Okay. Now, how will you calculate number of shares purchased? How many shares are purchased? That is equal to how much amount you have invested divided by purchase price of that share. Okay. Similarly, how much shares are sold? That is, instead of when you are selling the shares, you will get amount, you will get. So it is called amount received. So amount received divided by selling price of the share. Understood? When you are purchasing the shares, you are investing the amount, correct? So amount invested divide by purchase price of a share. When you are selling the shares, so how many shares you have sold, number of shares sold will be amount received, because when you are selling, you are getting the amount. So amount received divided by selling price of a share. So remember these formula. Okay. Now today we are going to solve some simple problems. Okay. Very, very simple problem. So let us look at the first problem. What is the first problem? Satya owned 250 shares of a company. 250 shares of a company of face value rupees 100 each. The dividend declared by the company was 7.5%. Find the amount Satya will get as dividend. Okay. So what you have to do, first read the question and write down what are the given things. So I've written solution and write given things. Okay. Always read the question. If you have not understood in one attempt, read it twice, thrice. Okay. So read it very slowly. Try to understand and write down what are the things given to you and what is asked to you. So Satya owned 250 shares of a company. That means what is given to you? You are given number of shares. So we will write here. Number of shares is 250. Of face value rupees 100 each. That means face value of one share is how much? 100. So let us write face value equal to 100. The dividend declared by the company was 7.5%. So it is rate of dividend. As I told you, rate of dividend is always expressed as a percentage. So rate of dividend is equal to 7.5%. Okay. And it is always expressed as a percentage of face value. So it is 7.5% of face value. What we have to find? Find the amount Satya will get as dividend. So we have to find total dividend of Satya. How much amount he will receive as a dividend. What is our formula to calculate total dividend? It is rate of dividend into face value into number of shares divided by 100. See, rate of dividend into face value is what? Rate means it is 100, so 7.5 upon 100. So this much will give you the dividend on one share. And when you multiply it by number of shares, you will get his total dividend. So let us put all the values in the formula. Rate of dividend is 7.5. So we will put here 7.5. Face value is 100. So put here 100. Number of shares is 250 and divide by 100. Okay. Why we are dividing by 100? Because rate is expressed as percent. 7.5% means 7.5 upon 100. Out of 100, 7.5. That is why we have to divide by 100. Now, when you simplify this, multiply 7.5 into 100 into 250 and divide by 100, you will get 1875. So therefore, Satya will get rupees 1875 as dividend. So it is very simple. In this formula, there are four things: total dividend 1, rate of dividend 2, face value 3, and number of shares 4. If you know any three, fourth you can find. So in this problem, you were given rate of dividend, face value, and number of shares. These three things were given to you, and you have calculated total dividend. Okay. Let us go to the next problem. Ria invested in shares of PSZ Industries of nominal value rupees 10. Here the word nominal value is used. As I told you, face value is also called as nominal value. She received rupees 142.5 as total dividend. So you are given here total dividend at the rate of 9.5%. Find the number of shares she bought. So as usual, we will write down what is given to us and what we have to find. So read the question once again. Ria invested in shares of PSZ Industries of nominal value rupees 10. So what is this rupees 10? It is nominal value means face value. So you are given face value equal to 10. She received rupees 142.5 as total dividend. So what is his total dividend? Her total dividend is 142.5. With what rate? 9.5%. So rate of dividend is 9.5%. What you have to find out? The number of shares she bought. See here, you are given total dividend, so we will apply the formula for total dividend. As you know, total dividend is equal to rate of dividend into face value into number of shares divided by 100. Put whatever is given to you. So you are given here total dividend, kitna? 142.5. So in place of total dividend, I will write 142.5 equal to rate of dividend. How much? 9.5. So 9.5 into face value. How much? 10 into 10 into number of shares. This I have to find out. So whatever you have to find out now, you call it as X. Okay. So we have to find number of shares. So I will call it as X. Let number of shares be X. So in place of number of shares, I will put X divided by 100. Now I have to simplify this equation and find the value of X. So I will keep left hand side as it is and simplify this much. 9.5 into 10 divided by 100. Use calculator, you will get 0.95 into X. Now this equation I have to solve for X. So X into 0.95. So this 0.95 has to go to the other side. So here there is a multiplication. When it will go to the other side, it will divide. So 142.5 divided by 0.95. When you do this, you will get 150. So we got the value of X as 150. What was our X? Number of shares. Therefore, number of shares Ria bought is 150. Okay. So this is how you will get here number. So in this problem, you were given out of these four things, you were given total dividend, you were given rate of dividend, you were given face value, and number of shares were asked you. Okay. So formula is same. Whatever is given to you, you write there and then solve the problem. Whatever is asked to you, you can write it as X. Okay. Let us move to the third problem. In this problem, you have to find the face value. Find the face value of a 8% share if rupees 8,000 were invested to purchase shares at a market price of rupees 125 and a total dividend of rupees 512 was obtained. You have to read the question peacefully, slowly, try to understand and write down what is given to you. Okay. So in solution, we will first write down given. What is given here? What is read the question? Find the face value. So one thing is clear that you have to find out the face value. So I've written here, we have to find the face value. Okay, find the face value of 8% share. Means what is this 8%? It is the rate of dividend. So we will write here rate of dividend is 8% given to you. If rupees 8,000 were invested to purchase shares, see what is given to you. 8,000 were invested to purchase the share. So amount invested is 8,000. So try to read and write down what is given. 8,000 is the amount invested. Now 8,000 were invested to purchase shares. So it is the amount invested at a market price of rupees 125. So what is the market price of the share? It is 125. And how much total dividend is received? And a total dividend of rupees 512 was obtained. So total dividend is 51. Wait a minute. I think something has gone wrong here. It's 125, not 142. Total dividend is, make a correction here. Total dividend is 125. This is not 142. By mistake it is written. So total, I'm sorry, this is 512. So total dividend here is 512. So let us write down correctly. It is 512. So whatever is given to you, you have written. Rate of dividend is given 8%. 8,000 is the amount invested. Purchase market price is 125 and total dividend is 512. And you have to find out the face value. Look at our formula for total dividend. It is what? Rate of dividend into face value into number of shares divided by 100. Look at in this formula, what are the things given to you? You are given total dividend. Okay, total dividend is given to you as 512. And you are also given rate of dividend, that is 8. And face value you are given. But you are not given number of shares. Okay. So first of all, you will have to find out number of shares. You are not given directly number of shares, but you are given that 8,000 amount was invested to purchase the shares. So number of shares purchased, how will you calculate? It is amount invested divided by purchase price of share. I have given you here, no? See here. Number of shares purchased is amount invested divided by purchase price of share. So number of shares was not given to me. Instead, I was given that amount invested is 8,000. So number of shares, how will I calculate? Amount invested divided by purchase price of the share. So amount invested is 8,000. And what is the purchase price? 125. See, purchase price means market price. Here, actually purchase price is market price plus brokerage. But in this problem, brokerage is not given to you. So in this problem, purchase price is same as market price because brokerage is not there. It is 0. So here I have written, here purchase price is same as market price as there is no brokerage. So amount invested is 8,000 and purchase price is 125. So you will get 64. So that means how much shares we have purchased? 64. So you got number of shares, you got rate of dividend, you also got total dividend. So you can find out face value. Okay. See how I have done. Total dividend, this is the formula. Total dividends is 512. Yes, 512. So I've written total dividend 512 equal to rate of dividend. How much it was? 8%. So I have written here 8 into what is face value that I have to calculate. So I will put it X here. जो नहीं मालूम है उसको X लिखना है. We have to calculate face value ना. So I have written let the face value be X. A number of shares, how much I got here? Number of shares? I got number of shares as 64. So here it is 64 divided by 100. Again, I have to simplify this equation for X. So 512, 8 into 64 divided by 100 will give me 5.12. You can do it by calculator and into X. Now, if you have to find out the value of X, what will you do with this 5.12? You will shift this to the other side. When you shift, it will divide because there is multiplication in between these two. So 512 divided by 5.12, it gives you 100. So X, the value of X comes out to be 100. What was X? It was the face value. Therefore, face value is rupees 100. So today we have solved 3 types of problems. In the first problem, you were given rate of dividend, face value, and number of shares, and you have calculated total dividend. It was very straightforward. In the second one, you were given total dividend, rate of dividend, face value, and you were asked to find out number of shares. So you can call it as X and put all the values, solve the problem. You will get solve the equation for X, you will get the number of shares bought. In the third problem, you were asked to find the face value. So find the face value. So whatever is asked, you put it as X. Let the face value be X. In this, then apply the formula for total dividend. Then you see that what are the things given to you in this problem. Total dividend is given to me. Yes, 512. Rate of dividend, yes, that is also given to me as 8. Face value I have to calculate. But number of shares also I have not given. But instead of number of shares not given directly, you are given that 8,000 amount was invested with market price 125. So you can find out number of shares purchased. It is amount invested divided by purchase price. Amount invested is 8,000, purchase price is 125. So when you divide this, you will get 64. So indirectly they have given. So number of shares you got as 64. Now put everything in the formula here. Total dividend 512, rate of dividend 8, face value we are calling it as X, number of shares 64 divided by 100. Solve this equation and find the value of X. Many students, they find it difficult to solve. It is very easy. Left hand side you keep as it is. In the right hand side, what are the numbers? 8, 64 and 100. So 8 into 64 divide by 100, that will give you 5.12 and X you keep as it is. Okay, then finally to find the value of X, this number has to go to the other side. So in between these two, there is no symbol or no operation written. That means it is multiplication. So when you shift 5.12 to the other side, it will divide. So 512 divided by 5.12, that is the value of X, that comes out to be 100. So the face value is 100. So today we have seen the application of this formula, total dividend and number of shares purchased. So more problems, I think today we don't have much time. So more problems we will do in the next class. I think this problem also we can do. This is also very simple. Exercise 4. See this, I'm going to share with you the recording as well as the PPT so that you can go through it. Write everything in your notebook. Very, very important. Don't just leave in the PPT. Don't depend upon your electronic device. Okay. You have to write everything in your notebook. All the problems and everything what I have written in the slides. Look at exercise number 4. Rakesh had 400 preferential shares and 200 ordinary shares of a company at rupees 10 each. The annual dividend was 8% on preference share and 14% on ordinary share. So he is having two types of shares. You have to find out his total dividend. So there are two types of shares. So first you find out the dividend on preference share. This is our formula. So what is the rate of dividend? Rate of dividend for preference share, it is 8%. So 8. Face value दोनों के लिए same है 10. And number of preference share how much? 400. So 8 into 10 into 400 divided by 100 will give you 320. Similarly, dividend on ordinary share. Ordinary share कितने हैं उसके पास? 200 है. So number of ordinary shares are 200 and the rate of dividend is 14%. So 40. So you get for ordinary you get 280. Okay. So dividend on preference shares is 320 and on ordinary share it is 280. So what is his total dividend? Add 320 and 280. So you get 600. Okay. So I will close here and I'll give you the link of the attendance. Give the attendance.